Hey, once again, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This your boy, Rod Thomas Jr., and this is the real news behind the news. Yeah, today is still a somewhat beautiful Friday here in Shreveport, March 11, 2022. And guess what, y'all? Just when you thought things couldn't get no more crazier with all the chaos that's going on with Russia and Ukraine, and all the high gas prices that's going on here in America, your president and the leaders of this country is basically having to go to countries that we once had sanctions on, countries that we call rogue states and state-sponsored terrorists. Let me give y'all a little background, break it down for y'all. Since this, really one of the things that's going on with the Ukraine is that the United States is trying to corner the market for natural gas, liquid natural gas, and oil. Y'all got to realize Russia provides 30% of the oil and natural gas that's going into Europe. The United States is glad to have this little operation going on with Russia in Ukraine, is because now they can level sanctions on Russia to try to keep Russia from supplying all that natural gas and oil. Keep in mind, Russia was supplying a good majority of the oil and natural gas to America. So now that we quote unquote can't buy no more oil and natural gas from Russia, the United States is now in negotiation with Iran. Wait a minute. Don't your government tell us that Iran is the biggest sponsor of terrorism around the world? Ain't your government is not saying nothing about Israel striking Iranian targets in the illegally occupied area of Syria? Don't we have sanctions against Iran because they trying to build a nuclear weapon? But the United States, they basically turned to Saudi Arabia. As a matter of fact, I think it was a day or so ago, the president of the United States, Joe Biden, tried to get in touch with the president of the king of Saudi Arabia, and the king of Saudi Arabia wouldn't even answer his phone call. That's just how bad our government is looking around the rest of the world. Now, the Saudis are saying that they ain't got nothing to talk to Joe Biden about because they're dealing, the United States is going behind their back trying to deal with Iran. But wait a minute. Ain't Saudi Arabia the most despotic and inhumane, evil government on the planet? Yeah, Saudi Arabia is the most evil government on the planet. Oh, and wait a minute also. Aren't we giving Saudi Arabia hundreds of billions of dollars of weapons every year so that they can continue the genocide in Yemen? Do y'all realize that in a proxy war, the United States is arming Saudi Arabia to commit genocide on the people in Yemen, where just in the last 7-8 years, y'all, Saudi Arabia has murdered over 350,000 people in Yemen. And our government supplies the weapons. So now, Saudi Arabia and UAE, United Arab Emirates, are saying, no, we're not going to step up our oil production. Hell, it ain't our fault that you all pushed Ukraine up to go to war with Russia. And now that you sanctioning Russia, you trying to get oil from anywhere you can, including Iran. But there's another place that we trying to get oil from, where we actually tried to overthrow the government of Venezuela. Do y'all realize Venezuela's got the largest oil reserves on the planet? And the United States tried to take that country over to steal their oil. Remember when they put that puppet up there, they say the rightfully elected leader of the Ukraine, Nicolas Maduro, we don't recognize you as president. We got this Juan Guaido. That's who we say your president is. But he can't even come back in the country of Venezuela. And now your government is negotiating with Venezuela. Two countries, Iran and Venezuela, that we have been sanctioning the crap out of over the last few years that we call illegitimate states who we got sanctions on. We're now turning to them to try to ease the pain at the gas pump. Wait a minute. Why don't Joe Biden just start back up the Keystone Pipeline? All that oil that could be coming through from the Keystone Pipeline, first thing Joe Biden did when he got in office was shut that down. You want to know what they're trying to do? They really trying to force everybody to buy electric cars. That's one of the agendas. Y'all pay attention. That's what they're telling you now. Well, I know gas prices are getting high, but we might have to start thinking, everybody might have to start thinking about buying electric cars. Who the fuck got $50,000 to buy an electric car? And that's not even talking about the Teslas. But do y'all realize buying electric cars now, they're going to give you another energy crisis? It costs you more to charge that car than it do to fill your tank up. So right now, we living in a banana republic. We living in a fantasy world while our government has not been thinking things out. They have not been thinking things all the way through. They just look at it, oh, it's an opportunity for us to get money for the oil industry or the pharmaceutical industry in the case of COVID. That's what's really going on. So now, Saudi Arabia just totally basically told Biden to go fuck yourself. They didn't even tell him that because they didn't even answer his phone call. That's crazy. The president of the United States makes a phone call to a person who, a government that we give hundreds of billions of dollars of weapons to every year so that they can fight a proxy war in Yemen, murder all these people. And now that the United States is looking, well, hell, we got to get some oil from somewhere. We gonna go to Iran. Saudi Arabia say, fuck that. Don't even call my phone no more. Yeah, they just disrespected the shit out of Joe Biden. Wouldn't even answer his phone call. We living in crazy times, y'all. Prepare yourself, because it's only gonna get worse. Because right now, again, we negotiating with two countries that we say sponsors of terrorism, and in the case of Venezuela, is an illegal government. We don't recognize your president, but now you calling the president of Venezuela, who you don't recognize, begging him to sell you some oil because you fucked up and created a fucking crisis using the Ukraine. Do y'all realize the United States used the Ukraine to get to this point where they could try to shut down that Nord Stream 2 pipeline and Russia from selling oil and natural gas to Europe, and the shit backfired on them? See, y'all don't know, learn, man, when I be trying to tell y'all some stuff. I'm not just telling you all some fantasy shit that I concocted up on some conspiracy theory type shit. This is based upon research. Because if you do your research, you will know that this shit in the Ukraine did not just start a couple of weeks ago. This shit been 8 years in the making, and the United States pushed Ukraine all the way up to this point. Now Russia is destroying the fuck out that country. And the United States say, well, all we can do is send you some more weapons, but you got to buy the weapons. Oh, another thing. Do y'all realize they finna try to send $1 trillion to the Ukraine when you got all these motherfucking homeless people here in America? They sending all this money to the Ukraine, and you got, go to California and look at the homelessness problem out there. Do y'all realize it only take $20 billion to end homelessness in America? Well, we sending trillions of dollars to Ukraine so they can try to fight Russia, and they still ain't gonna have a chance. Oh, another thing I want y'all to really pay attention to. You got some dumb assholes in your government that's trying to push for a no-fly zone in the Ukraine. Don't y'all realize Putin already said that any country that tries to step in the Ukrainian airspace and stop Russia with this operation is going to be considered a participant against Russia? That's the dumbest idea that I've seen in a long time, and trust me, we see dumb ideas coming out our government every day. But for them, for those of you all who are saying we need a no-fly zone in the Ukraine, don't y'all realize that will be the start of World War III? Because any European nation that puts jets in the air in Ukraine will not only get them shot down, but they will face hostile action from Russia.